So as you all know, I lost 3 trades last week. I took 3 trades last week and I lost all 3 trades. Right. In this video, I should be covering why I lost the trade. Well, I think I should make like a separate video for that one to kind of break down the reasons I lost this trade. But in this video, we're just going to be covering um the market, breaking down 20 pairs again, because I actually plan on not leaving my money with the market, right? I actually plan on recovering that money back. So let us see what we have for this week. So let us see um GPBUSD. Now I'm not going to be revenge trading. I'm just looking for the best trade setup that could give me the opportunity I'll be looking for, right? If it's not clean enough, I will not be entering it because I'm trying to be very careful now, right? So let's see GBP USD. Let's see the daily time frame is bearish, right? Let's start from the weekly. The weekly time frame is bullish. We do have some form of resistance around this level, not so clean, so I'll not be using it. So let's go over to the daily again. Daily is bearish, right? Again, this is still the weekly resistance level. So let's bring it down to just accommodate these extra taps right here, right? So daily time frame is bearish. Weekly time frame is actually bullish, right? So let's see. We need the 4 hour to be bearish for us to be interested. And as you can see, the 4 hour is, well, still bearish overall, right? It's still bearish overall. Now, I explained to you guys why I don't like flat markets. If you check this market right here, it's very indecisive. Market is either supposed to be trending to the upside or trending to the downside. Around this level, price is pretty much around this level. Hasn't made any decision, right? So I'm not really interested in this market. By the way, the 4 hour is still breaking highs, right? I'm not interested in a market that is breaking highs, but I do believe that if this market is planning on selling, we should start breaking new lows, break under this low right here, have a retracement of that low, and continue selling, right? So I'll just keep it on the radar. It's not something I might force next week because it's not as clean, right? So we'll check other markets to see what we have for the new week to see if we can get any clean market. So last week, this is one of the trades I lost, right? CAD JPY. As you can see, we had a very strong area of interest. The daily time frame, by the way, if you notice, let me show you guys. The daily time frame came back to the area of interest, had a doji, and had a very strong engulfing. Now, usually that is a very strong signal for us to buy a market, right? And on the entry time frame, we also had a very clean break right here, retracement, engulfing. I had to wait for another break right here, as you can see, another break, retracement, and engulfing, and shit happens, right? So I lost this one. So let us see what happened. Let us see what we have on CAD JPY again, right, for this new week. Let's see if we are going to continue buying or not, right? So let's see this market clean again. So what is this time frame saying? Pretty much the price is flat, is very indecisive, but this market structure is, I'll call it bearish, right? Daily time frame is bearish, weekly time frame is bullish, and the 4 hour time frame is actually bullish right now, right? Because we broke above this high. So this is still the higher high and this is the higher low. Again, it still looks like price is making a decision to continue going to the upside. Maybe we just had a bad entry, right? So, but is there an area of interest here that I can use? I can see this level right here. Now, this level has been respected by price right here once, twice, 3 times, right? But this is the 4 hour time frame, so the area of interest is not a very solid one, right? It's not a very solid one. Now, on the 1 hour time frame, what makes sense is to wait for an extra break, right? Because right here we are consolidating. So what's going to make more sense is when the market start gaining momentum to the upside, because I explained how the market is pretty much indecisive. If you can look here, you see that it was going to the downside. Here it started going to the upside, and now it's going back to the upside after going back to the downside. So it's very indecisive. So I need price to start gaining momentum to one direction, either to the upside or to the downside, preferably the upside, right? And then we can start gaining momentum and look for where we can join the trend once price starts gaining momentum to the upside. So that's what would make more sense on CAD JPY, right? Am I adding it for this week? I'm still thinking. I'm still thinking. We still have these highs. All these highs can actually stop market because we use highs, right? We use highs for final take profit target. If there are way too many highs and it's not as far, like something like this, then I'm not very much interested because price could actually stop in any of these highs and start retracing all the way to the downside, right? So that's that for CAD JPY. NZD JPY was another one. So let me show you guys what happened. If you look on the 4-hour time frame, at the time we did not have all this price action, right? All this bullish price action. At the time we were still under area of interest, as you can see, and then I needed price to be under this minor area of interest to sell. Also, we had a reversal candlestick pattern, which is this left head, right shoulder, and we needed price to be below. If you check on the 1-hour time frame, I was also looking for the clean. I was also looking for the break and retest, as you can see right here, which is break right here, the retracement and the engulfing to enter, right? So clean setups. If you look at the EMA, you can also see that the EMA was also shifting bearish. Clean setups, but I'm not really sure what happened last week, right? So what happened last week has already happened, right? We just have to keep following the plan. That brings me to this thing I was talking about in this video, right? Of how price or how wins are very unevenly distributed, right? You can never really tell when you're going to have a losing streak or a winning streak, right? So maybe it's one of those weeks, right? So let's see. CAD JPY, NZD JPY. Let's see right here. So right now it's clearly bullish because clearly we are trending to the upside. This is clearly the higher high and clearly the highest point. As you can clearly see, if I go over to the left, you can see that that's literally the highest points of recent price action. The only time we actually came to around this price point was somewhere around 2024 July, right? So we have never gotten to this price point since July. So what makes more sense is continue buying. We should continue buying because price is currently buying, right? I hope that makes sense. Now, what will make more sense is for price, if we can have a retracement back into these levels, continue buying. That will be better because we cannot really buy at a premium area. We have to wait for a discounted um area or a discounted price point to buy, right? So that just what I'm trying to say is that 95.382 is the highest point, right? Which is the highest price. We cannot really be buying at this price. We need price to be cheaper, which is around this level, around this area of interest, which is 94.1119 or thereabouts, before we can be interested in buying. So it's just how it works, right? So if you can get these retracements, we need price to actually create structures while having this retracement, right? So that we can know exactly when to be involved, right? Because if it's creating structures to the downside, it doesn't mean that this overall structure is not bullish. It's still bullish, but if we can start breaking new highs, that would be a perfect sign for us to start paying attention to the market in order for us to buy. So that is my plan on NZD So I'll just be monitoring it. I haven't gotten any pair I'll be paying attention to just yet, right? So NZD CAD JPY, sorry, NZD JPY, we are going to be looking for buys now, right? Because market have shifted structural bullish. NZD USD, the same thing, right? So let's go over to the daily. All right, so coming over to the daily, I still expect a retracement back into some kind of area like this to continue buying, but I don't think that price I don't think this area of interest is a very strong one, but it's a valid area. It's not a very strong one, but it's a valid area. But I actually still believe that this market could actually buy if we get back to this area. So again, it's still pretty much the same thing. I'll be waiting for price to get back to this area, preferably having market structure getting back into this area, and then shift structure to the upside for me to be interested in buying NZD USD. Market was bearish initially, as you can see, but now we are shifting structure bearish, breaking new highs. That shows that the market is bullish and we should look for how to continue buying in a bullish market. So that is that for NZD USD and NZD JPY. We are looking for buys on those two markets. Euro AUD, and that was the last trade. That is the last trade I took. Euro AUD. Again, we had this very strong area that's held price multiple times. Again, my trades are very selective. Sometimes they play out, sometimes they don't, right? So um this area is a very strong area. Price has reacted from this area multiple times, right? So once price was now currently below that area, I was now looking for sales, right? It just makes sense that my stop loss should be above the area because it has been respected by price multiple times, right? And then we had a very clean break to the downside, a retracement, and an engulfing, which I use all the time. By the way, all those wins I have been showing you guys, that's the exact same thing I'm doing, right? This time again didn't really happen. I think this was a news candle because I saw like it was not a red folder news for some weird strange reason. It was not a red folder news, but it's a news candle. And then it took me out and price pretty much is now back around that same point again, trying to give me the exact same entry that it gave me last week. As you can see, it is also a very clean break right here, a retracement and an engulfing. Now, if I say I'm going to take this trade now again, does that mean I'm breaking my rules? No. That is the exact same trade. Just this one did not play out. This one might actually not also play out or might actually play out. So it still depends on what price is planning on doing. So I still believe that this market will continue selling to the downside, right? Because it follows my system, right? So let's do an overall market um let's do an overall market analysis to actually be sure about this direction that we're about to take, right? So let's go over to the weekly, right? Now, coming over to the weekly, now, first thing I notice is that these past few weeks, if you notice, we can clearly see the colors of these candles, right? You can clearly see the colors of these candles on the weekly time frame. These are all red candles, you can clearly see, and these two are blue candles, as you can clearly see. These are red candles and so on. Now, but if you now notice from this week, from these last 3 weeks, you can barely see. I mean, we can see the color of the candle, but you can barely see. You can see that they are all dojis, right? Let's delete everything. Let me just show you guys. You can see that they are all dojis. These three are all dojis. That shows that market is for the last 3 weeks. Euro AUD has not really moved. Again, that shows that this market is not a trendy market. That might actually be another sign to show why my trade failed, right? Because this strategy works great on the trending market, right? So now that is one observation. The past 3 weeks have not really moved much. Daily time frame. Now on the daily time frame, market structure is very unclear. Let's see here. Very unclear. But what makes more sense on this market is actually to be selling, and the only reason you should be selling is clearly because it has been selling, right? Something that has been happening time and time again. It only makes sense for us to continue that kind of movement, right? Now that makes sense as to why for us to sell, we should wait for price to be under some kind of level, which is right here. Now, this is also a risky trade. I just realized that is also a risky trade because we are at the lowest point in the market, right? We are at the lowest point in the market. If price is planning on breaking this level without giving us our final take profit, which is 1:2 or more, then it's too much of a risky trade, right? So this trade, could it play out? It could still play out. It could not play out. I'll decide on what to do next week, right? I'll decide on what to do next week. But this is also a clean break, retest, and engulfing. But price is still above area of interest, right? All right, so that's that for Euro AUD. It makes more sense to sell. By the way, EMA is still above and all that, right? So that's that for Euro AUD. Euro USD. Let's see. Daily time frame. Daily time frame. I don't know. Internal structure looks bullish, but I don't like this market. I don't know. I don't like it. Let's see how the weekly looks. Last week was bullish. Market structure, overall structure is currently bearish. 4 hour time frame, it's actually bullish. So it's giving two signals. But if you're asking me for a direction, I will be looking for buys on this market. But I don't think I will actually be buying. let me look at this well, please. Let me look at this well. We have an area here. Let me extend it to the left, to the left, to the left. Now, forward time frame, we are currently at that area. Hmm. I don't even know what this market supposed to do now. Or are we supposed to wait for a break? I think we're supposed to wait for a break, retest, and engulfing to actually buy. I don't like it. I'm thinking too much. Next pair USD card. Let's see what we have. USD card daily time frame. First of all, the market structure is very tight, but if you're counting this as a structural point, this market is bearish. But I don't like this kind of market. It's not as clean on the daily, by the way. Now, 4 hour time frame. Then 4 hour time frame. This might be a very strong swing setup if we are selling. So if we start to sell, we can sell all the way to this level. Okay, we can sell all the way to this level right here if you start selling. Hmm. But it's not that clean. That's my only problem with USD card. That's my only problem with USD card. So USD card, I do believe that this market, if we can start having structures to the downside, I believe that this market could actually sell all the way to this level. But we don't know how to enter. That is the only problem. And the forward time frame also do not have an area of interest. And I cannot get a clean area of interest on a daily. That is the only reason I'm not interested in this market. But I believe this market could sell and it has a very high potential of selling. Well, next pair, GPP daily time frame is bullish, right? So we have an area of interest right here. Okay. All right. So daily time frame is bullish. Weekly time frame is also bullish overall, and the 4 hour time frame. Okay. Now the 4 hour time frame is also bullish, right? Now we have three time frame in sync. It has been a while. We had three time frame in sync. So what I want to see is for price to start creating bullish structures. I think I'll be interested in this market for this new week. Let's see how the 1 hour looks. Right. So 1 hour time frame is also bullish, right? So we have all the time frame in sync. We just need the deeper retracement and confirmatory entries to buy. So GBP JPY, my first market for this week. Euro JPY. Euro JPY daily time frame is not even that clean, right? But we are breaking structures to the upside, which signifies a bullish market. But we can clearly see this strong momentum to the downside. That shows that sellers were strong at this point in time, right? And we did not close below that low. Let me just be certain that we not close below that low. It was pretty much a double bottom. So I'm not really interested in Euro JPY, but I do believe that since we are breaking highs, we should continue going to the upside, right? But I'm not interested. GBP card. Wetin dey worry dis network? GBP card weekly time frame is bearish overall, right? So weekly time frame is bearish. Daily time frame, let me delete this to look for a cleaner area of interest. So daily time frame, area of interest we can find here will be this one right here. So this will just be the highest point. So price have reacted from this level 3 times here, as you can see, and if I go over to the left, I think we'll have more rejections to the upside and to the downside, right? So pre-valid area of interest on GBP card, right? Now, do I like this market so far? Not yet. It's not as clean. I don't know why. Okay, seems like market has been indecisive. Look at this EME. It's pretty flat, right? I need market that is clearly trending to the upside or to the downside. But let us see what the market has to offer, by the way. So what now? This market is what? Bullish. So we don't even have 2 time frame in sync. Let's just go over to the next pair. So GBP CHF. So this is the win we took sometime around the, when is this, 15th of May, thereabouts. Let's delete it, see what we have right now. Okay, so let's delete it and see what we have right now. Daily time frame is bearish, right? So daily time frame is bearish, and we have an area right here, right? So that is the area of interest we'll be using because it's the daily area of interest, right? Okay, now the final take profit target on this market is very clearly showing here, which will be this one right here, and we have not actually gotten to that level, so we are still interested, right? If we have gotten to that level already, I will no longer be interested because, I mean, where are we going to be taking our final profit, right? So that is that for daily time frame, bearish. Let's see the weekly, by the way. Weekly time frame is, well, overall bearish and is currently bearish. So the weekly time frame is actually still bearish. Now we have 2 time frame in sync already. Let's see how the 4-hour looks. The 4-hour time frame is also bearish, but the final take profit target is right here, right? It's not even that far, and I don't think we can enter this market. The reason I'm not interested in this market is because this is where we are supposed to be taking our final take profit, right? And we don't have good market structure like a clean break and retest to even enter, right? So I believe this market will continue selling to the downside, but I don't know how to enter the market. So that's that for GBP CHF. GBP NZD, let us see what we have on this market. All right, now I like a very strong trendy market to the downside, just like I'm seeing right now. The daily time frame, we have an area of interest, as you can see right here. So strong area that we have right here. Market structure is clearly bearish. Weekly time frame, market is also bearish, right? Market is also bearish, okay. And now the 4-hour time frame, I think this is very similar price action to, I think, NZD JPY and USD, NZD USD. Okay, this is also an NZD pair. No wonder, because this is exactly the same price pattern. It's just that this is a selling example, right? So pretty much what I'll be looking for is a retracement back into this level to sell. So that's exactly what GBP NZ is telling me. But if you look at NZD JPY, it's pretty much the same price action, looking for a retracement to buy, and NZD USD looking for a retracement to buy. As you can see, we had a very strong red candles and multiple blue candles to the upside. Same thing with NZD JPY, one strong red candle, multiple blue candles to the upside. And that is the same, that is pretty much the opposite with GBP NZD, which is one blue candle to the upside and multiple red candles to the downside, right? So I believe that if you can have that retracement, you could actually sell, right? But I need structures, right, coming back into this area for me to be interested in selling. So that is that for GBP NZD. I think I'll just be bringing NZD, GPY. I'll be bringing these three pairs to be interested in them for next week. I don't actually believe that they're going to play out next week, by the way, right? But those are the cleanest market I've seen so far. USD JPY, let us see what we have. All right, first of all, this is the daily time frame, and let me just show you guys that this market has not even moved for quite some time now. For the past 11 days, price is pretty much consolidating. All these small candles for 11 days has not even done anything. That is ridiculous, right? Let's see how the 4 hour looks. 4 hour, not so clean. I'm not interested. I can already tell when a market is not trending that much. I don't really feel when the market is not trending that much, it's not really advisable to be placing trades, right? Because you can just reverse and reverse again, because you can just change direction anytime, right? So that's why I'm not interested. SZD card, let us see what we have. All right, so SZD card daily time frame is bullish, right? As you can clearly see, very clearly, strongly bullish, right? Area of interest we should use, I think we should use this one right here. Is a very valid area of interest because we have 1, 2, 3, 4 rejections from that area, and if I extend it over to the left, you can see that we have even more to the left, right? Now what we are looking for based on the data the 4 hour time frame is telling me is that we need a retracement back into this area to buy, right? So we need a retracement back into this area to buy. Weekly time frame, let's see how it looks. Again, if you have that retracement to the area to buy, we'll be reacting from weekly structural points, right? Now let's go over to the 4 hour time frame to see what we have. Again, very similar. Is this another NZD pair? Yes, NZD card. So very similar again. We need structures coming back to this level to buy. Very similar markets. Very similar markets. So we need price to get back to this area to buy. Right? So that is that for NZD card. Euro GPP. Let me add NZD card for this week. All right, Euro GBP. Now, from my observation, is that on Euro GBP for the past 133 days, 130 days now, right? Price has been in this consolidation, right? Price has been reacting from this level to the downside, buying from this level to the upside, buying from this level and selling from this level, right? So right now we are currently around the middle of this level. It doesn't make sense to even be involved, by the way, in a consolidation market. But even if you are going to be involved in a consolidation market, we should only buy or sell when price is going to be reacting from a certain level, right? So it makes no sense to be involved in this market, by the way, right? We should be either be buying from here or selling from here. So that's just the information that we have on that. Euro GBP AUD. Oh, nice. I'm already liking this market, but let us see what we have. Okay, this might actually be my top pair for next week because I just opened the chart and I'm already liking this market, right? So if I lose on this market, it's not even going to hurt me in any way, shape, or form. So this is the area of interest we are going to be using. I'm sure it's going to be cleaner on the 4 hour time frame, but if you can look at this market, I think this market is actually bullish. So daily is actually bullish. So first of all, I thought it was bearish. That's why I was liking it. but I still believe this market will continue selling to the downside, right? So I mean, you can decide to take this trade if you want to take it, but I'm still liking the trade. This is going to be our final take profit target, right? Weekly, overall direction, by the way, has been selling to the downside, right? 4 hour time frame. Let us see how 4 hour time frame looks. Now, if you look at 4 hour time frame, you can clearly see that we are now breaking structures to the downside. It's still a risky trade. It's not a clean trade. It's not a very, very clean trade, and it's also still a risky trade. But I'm actually interested in this one. I don't know. I'm actually interested in this one. Look at it, 1 hour time frame. Also a very clean market. I think it was also very similar to one of these pairs I was looking at. Right. So this is how I think this market is going to play out. Right. This is how I think this market is going to play out. If let me check the 30 minutes. Let's mark this high. So this is what I am seeing, and this is what I think is going to happen on GBP AUD, right? This is what I think is going to happen on GBP AUD next week, right? I do like when there's pace in the market and there's no multiple structures stopping price from getting to certain areas, right? So this might be the first take profit target, second right here, but this is actually the ultimate take profit target, right? And we can actually trade this market, it has the potential of giving us a 1:3.39 risk reward ratio. So I'll decide if I'm going to be entering this market, but I know a lot of you guys are not going to be interested in this market because the market structure is not really a very beautiful one, right? It's just that the entry time frame looks very clean, right? So I'll decide if I'm going to be entering this market as soon as Monday opens, right? So if you're interested, you can join me on this one. If you're not interested, you can just see this one out and look for better opportunities. So I like this one. I like this market actually. AED USD next pair. AED USD. First of all, the daily time frame is not so clean. It's not so clean, by the way. I can't even draw an area of interest. It's so hard. Let me check the 4 hour time frame. 4 hour time frame. Okay, now 4 hour time frame has a good enough area I can draw. All right, so the 4 hour time frame on GBPUSD has an average area of interest and has multiple rejections from that area. So what makes more sense on this market is to look for reasons to buy. So we need like a break and retest above this area to buy, right? Should I add it for this week? I think I should just keep it close to monitor, right? I'll keep it close to monitor. Euro NZD. All right, Euro NZD. What we just know is that we need a deeper retracement to continue selling, right? We just need a deeper retracement to continue selling. So we are not interested for some. This is what BTC. BTC looks like we need a retracement to continue selling right here. So, but that is the daily time frame. Let's see how it looks on the weekly. In the 4 hour, I mean. Not interested, anyways. AUD card. AUD card. Next pair. Let's see. Daily time frame not clean. 4 hour time frame is bullish. but we're pretty much at the highest point. I don't really like highest points in the market. I believe that they used to reverse at that highest point of the market. So I'm not interested. AUDJPY, I'm also not interested on AUDJPY. USD I'm also not interested. So the only market I'm interested in, let us see what gold has. Let us see gold, by the way. Let us see gold. Right. So last week on gold, I kind of caught some part of this market somewhere around here. Let me show you guys where the clean break and it has happened. So, but I didn't post it. That is the only reason I didn't post it is because um is gold, right? And gold has a lot of reversals. So under this area, there was a clean right here, break, retest. So this was not really an engulfing, right? But it was reacting from previous structure point and all that. So it was just too much risks on this trade, by the way. But I know that gold sometimes must not give you the confirmatory entry for you before you enter, right? It's just I've noticed a few pattern on gold. I'm just monitoring it to see what happens. But this was a risky move. I do not advise anybody to even do that, right? So I haven't reduced my risks very drastically. So I ate from this market, but I didn't really eat much because I was reducing my risks. So just the thing that I saw. So let us see what we have on gold right now. So gold overall structure on the daily bearish, 4 hour time frame is bullish, right? And the 1 hour time frame, which is the time frame we like to take trades from, by the way, is bullish, right? It only makes sense for this market to continue buying right now, but I still believe that this market could actually continue selling, right? If you start breaking all these lows right here, if you start breaking all these lows right here, we'll start having bearish market structure and we start selling. So that's what I think. But right now, market should be buying because the market structure is bullish. So gold does not have an opportunity, in the best of my opinion, does not have an opportunity for us to buy or sell this week. He still has to make more decisions for us to buy or sell this week, right? So by the way, I can see a very strong resistance level right here. So that's pretty much the pairs we are going to be trading for next week, right? So we are mostly going to be having buys on JPY pairs, on some of these JPY pairs, of which we need a retracement and a shift of structure for us to buy on GBP JPY. GBP NZD, we need a cleaner retracement all the way back to area of interest with structures to sell. NZD JPY, we need structures coming back into area to buy. Same thing with NZD USD and NZD card, right? So that's pretty much it. The way this market is looking this week, there's a very high chance I might not actually even trade this week because there's no any clean market. Oh, but we also have which market did I say I was going to enter? GPP AUD, right? So I'm adding this one for this week because I like the market, right? So GPP AUD, I'm actually interested. That might actually be the only trade that might give me the opportunity to trade this week. So I mean, I don't really like this week's market, but that's pretty much it. I'll make a shorter version of this video to explain these markets again and to also refresh my memory on what I just said. And I'll see you guys on the Telegram channel. Hopefully we win again, right? I mean, I don't know what happened this month. Ridiculous. So we have to win again. We have to try to win because obviously we lost last week, or I lost last week. I'm even glad that most of you guys did not actually lose last week, right? But I lost last week and I actually try on recovering that loss, right? So I will meet you guys on the Telegram channel again. So that's pretty much it, guys.